We're live.
All right. Good evening, boys. So tonight we're drinking Kavalan Oloroso Solist. So the Solist line, right? You guys will remember Solist line is Kavalan's cask strength single cask line. Um, so usually they use some pretty nice barrels. They call it Solist. It has something to do with orchestra and music. Everything in Kavalan's lineup is always named after kind of concerty, musicy terms, right? It's just something that the owner of the distillery is very passionate about. Even the distillery itself is kind of organized like a concert hall. But yeah, so this one is Oloroso heavy sherry. It looks very dark, so let's dive in. Oh, and this one's just one of the regular single casks that were released at the LCBO. I know later next round we've got a few that are specifically picked by certain groups, but this one is just kind of a generic one of the generic releases. So
Still pretty hard to get even at the LCBO.
oh yeah, for sure, and pricey.
Yeah, I would never see a bottle of this up here.
Yeah, we got a good deal on this. It was like $100 off or something. It was like
Yeah,
crazy.
they had it at a massive discount, but even then it was the same price as what we would have paid for it out west. So wasn't really a discount. I think it's just the folks that are interested in Kavalan are also the folks that know that they can order stuff out west, right?
Yeah.
And so when they had it at
Makes
$300,
sense.
no one budged because they all knew they could get it for $100 less, right? And then when
Yeah.
they finally brought it down, then there's then they sold out. But there you go. So what are you guys smelling?
Bunch of sherry.
Yeah, like for me, this is all kind of toasted jam and
Ooh,
like
that's
nutty.
nice.
There's like a nuttiness to it too that's hard to pinpoint, but
Dry fruits or something.
it's really inviting.
Dates.
Yeah, well, I love that
What's-
toasted jam and the nuttiness. That was really good.
Yeah. What's the ABV on it?
Kyle has the bottle.
Yeah. It is 59.4.
So that's on the high end of Kavalan
Yeah.
single casks. Usually they're more in the mid 50s.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't detect it being that high on the nose. You can
Yeah.
definitely
You
can
can definitely
say
get it. Yeah.
Me neither. I mean, that's been my experience with Kavalans in general, is that the ABV is not what drives the experience of how strong it is. You know, I've had some low proof Kavalans that felt really high ABV, and I've had some 60% plus that felt really low ABV. And so, you know, for me, Kavalan, the percent alcohol isn't really indicative of how strong it's going to be.
Yeah, very dark, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Olorosos are dark in general, but this one is a dark Oloroso.
Mm-hmm. Anything
Kyle,
else you guys want to dig in?
Before Kyle, can you read also? There's a cask number on the bottle. It's going to be something like S1912 something. It's on the actual bottle.
Oh. S140722038A.
Okay.
Bottle number 398 out of 49.
Okay. Yeah, if you can just send that number on the text after the review, so I can make sure it's in the spreadsheet. All right. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
You get raisins right off the bat.
Yeah, huge
Raisins.
oaky raisins. Yeah.
Grape
Yeah.
flavor. You know, like grape candy flavor.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
grape soda.
Yeah.
You definitely feel that cast
You
strength.
can feel the cast strength on it. Yeah, the high 50.
Yeah, no, this one definitely tastes like
Yeah, it might be the
high
first
50s.
Kavalan where you can really that I've had where you can actually feel the proof.
Yeah, again, that kind of oaky toasty jam, right?
Yeah.
Still pretty strong here, like a strawberry jam, I would say.
Yeah,
Um,
just a little extra emphasis on the toasted, I feel like.
yeah, yeah. The oak comes through on the palate a lot more than it did on the
On the
um
nose there.
on the nose. Yeah, and I think if I heard you correctly, Kyle, when you said the cask number, this would be an 8-year-old Kavalan. Because on the cask number, it's basically the distillation date and the bottling date. Um, so uh, so this would be an 8-year-old Kavalan, distilled in 2014, bottled in 2022. Which is actually on the kind of
Wouldn't
high
that make it a
middle.
10-year-old?
It's 8-year-old for a Kavalan is on the high middle end. The really old Kavalans are like 11, 12-year-old. The most Kavalans are bottled at 5, 6-year-olds, the Solists, and then 7, 8's not uncommon. But like they don't make a big deal of the age because for them, the Solist line at least, they bottle it when it's ready to be bottled. You know, they got someone going around every 6 months or something, tasting them. And when it's ready to be bottled, they don't care if it's 4 years old or 12 years old. You know, that's when they.
That's
And
when
so
they bottle it.
that's why you never see like the age of the whiskey is there, but it's more obscure. They don't. It's not something they want to emphasize.
How do you apply for that job?
Yeah. That's the million
Never
dollar
drive home
question.
for it. They
Yeah.
just Uber you to and from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we've got our resume online, right? And there's
That's right, yeah.
here's my experience, and you should hire me.
Mm. Very typical Kavalan. It's like thick and syrupy, It's
Yeah.
like a really, really nice body.
I get like that the fizziness that you get with the younger scotches. I get that.
Yeah, it's pretty lively, even with that like
Yeah.
kind of thicker oakiness. It still has that
It still has that.
punchy kind of. I think someone said carbonated, right? Like that kind of
Yeah.
fizziness. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm ready to put a number on this. Anything else, boys?
No, I don't think so. Not for me.
Kyle, you start us off.
I kind of had a different interpretation on what this would be like going into it, just being Kavalan, something that we always seem to enjoy. It is nice, but I find the cast strength of it kind of takes away. Like it's a little pungent, and I do like those higher APVs generally, but I feel like this one, if it was toned down a little bit, maybe a lot of drop of water later. I find it's a little strong, maybe heat, a little bit of heat, for getting the full flavors. It still has nice flavors like the raisins, the oak and the nose had some good stuff on there. It's not overly complex, so and I know Kavalans generally they're pretty good at what they do. Like they're not too complex, but they're just they're good at a few things. So I'll go with an 86. I mean, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more on this, but I think just maybe if it was like 55% or like 50, I would say that could be out of this world. But it's a little too high for me on this one. So yeah, 86 for me.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Kyle says there. It's it's enjoyable. I like some of the flavors. I'm not overwhelmed by it, not underwhelmed. probably like to see with, with the drop of water, but kind of rating it as is. I'm gonna go 81. Like it's a good scotch. It's just not blowing me away. It's a little bit too much on the ABV for me at this moment.
Okay, yeah, it's punchy, but I think it works well, and I think this one is kind of on the higher end of Olorosos. Um, for me, I've had a handful of these, and this is a pretty good cask. I'll go 90 on this. I think the flavors come through really well. Um, and I don't mind that punchiness. So
You
might be the highest bidder tonight, but we'll see. Two to go.
I'm tied for highest with you. I had this at a 90.
Nice.
This might be one of the tastiest borderline 60% drams I've ever had. It's probably the easiest drinking and highest ABV combination. Yeah, it's really nice. But I find myself just absolutely loving everything that Kavalan comes out with. The the flavors are great, the nose is great, the consistency is amazing, the mouthfeel is fantastic. I don't mind the high proof because it's the only thing keeping me from drinking too much of it. The only thing that paces me. So I appreciate that, and I don't think it's I don't typically like scotches that are too hot or too spicy. I don't get that from this. In fact, any of that heat or like the warmth that you get from the inflated ABV tends to dissipate really, really quickly. I just want more. I think it's fantastic. So 90 from me.
I too am giving it a 90. Can't really say much more about it. You guys said enough. Great flavor. ABV isn't off-putting for me on this one. It, like Scott said, it dissipates pretty quickly.
Awesome.
So Trevor sandbagged us tonight.
All right. Well, cheers, boys. We can cut it off there.
Cheers.
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 And Kyle, make sure to